Hi, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, welcoming you to a Wednesday of Wisdom. And today we're going to talk about how to stop wearing bitterness as your armor and instead donning the cloak of joy. And if you have been on this planet for more than a minute, you've probably had the opportunity to be disappointed and feel extremely bitter because of that disappointment. But we need to look at what holding on to the spirit of bitterness may be doing to us and what we can do instead. I know that for a very long time in my own life, there was following me around the spirit of bitterness. Things had happened that I believed were out of my control. I didn't understand that my thoughts could bring these things closer and magnify them or push them further away. And I really got caught up in why do all these bad things keep happening to me, becoming very angry and resentful and eventually bitter because I just couldn't seem to get a handle on how to turn my life around. And I'm so delighted that now I get to share with you so much of what I've learned so that you don't have to go through the years of futile searching that I went through, and instead I can share with you what did work. This weekend on Saturday at 1:30 Pacific time, we will be doing part 2 of my 7 Essential Spiritual Tools workshop. And it is going to be fantastic. We're bringing in the angels. We will learn how to communicate with people. So much of bitterness comes from angry exchanges with other people. The angels will help us clear that up and allow that which is for the highest good to come into our lives. We're also going to look at how to completely renew and restore yourself if there was a time when you allowed energy that was not your own. And as empaths, as so many of you are, you're going to slip up. You're going to go into a situation unshielded, and you're going to soak up everybody else's energy. You need to know how to release it and to renew and restore your body and shield from the inside out. This is a relatively new technique the angels just taught me. I've been using it for about a year, and it is magnificent. But also we need to know, and this is something that I certainly wish that I had, if I make decision A and just don't do anything, just continue along the same trajectory that I've assigned myself to, what will my future look like? What am I calling to myself in the immediate future, in the immediate present, in a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years? And what about choice B? If I choose to go over into the other column and make some changes, what am I going to be looking at? And is it sometimes with decisions we feel like, oh, we've got no choice? Is it really that we have no choice? Are we just not understanding? So we'll be able to do all of this, plus add the tools that I taught last week so that all of these tools work together seamlessly. But first, let's take a look at what my guides have to say about bitterness and changing that attitude of bitterness into joy. Sometimes the hurt feels so deep you don't want to change. But if you know what it's doing to you, to keep that attitude, and what you'll gain by allowing joy to fill you, then it will be easier to make the choice. And also, if you have some tools to help you, it's so much easier. So they begin. Dearest hearts, in the physical world in which you reside, you will be subject to highs and lows, to periods when you feel you have the Midas touch, and times when even your best efforts fall on barren soil. And for all of those of you who are empathic, it's going to feel, until you get control over your gift, that all you do is give, and your life looks like a wasteland. You got to learn how to use the empathic gift. Since there is no continuous flow of seamless positive for any of you, it can become possible to feel bitter, disheartened, and as though you want to quit. However, we must remind you that this journey all of you have embarked upon was never meant to be a straight shot to the top. Without the challenges, the overcoming, and the struggle, none of you would grow, and the physical experience is always designed to provide maximum growth. Notice we didn't say the absence of obstacles. We said maximum growth. So right there, let's get out of the headspace that life is supposed to be roses and butterflies. It's not. We came to grow. We put obstacles in our path deliberately so that we would learn what it felt like to encounter them, and we would begin finding out how to overcome them. It's supposed to be a stretch from your current comfort zone into a new way of being, not just let's all stay the same and don't accomplish anything. It doesn't have to be difficult. Actually, we are here to assist each one of you so it's easy. But you must step out of resistance, out of your place of insisting. Uh-oh, here we go. If you're anything like me, I was insisting that this was the way my life was supposed to be, this easy way, this peaceful way, this I do good, good comes back to me. But I was rigid. I wasn't letting go of those beliefs that were hurting me, and I didn't want to explore new ways. So I just kept getting pounded over and over and over again, and it wasn't a whole lot of fun. If the journey is going to become easy for you, you have to get out of resistance. Yet, before we can discuss how to make it easier, let's look at what's making it harder. Bitterness. When negative events have accumulated in your life and you have the opinion that nothing can ever or will ever work out for you, it's easy to assume an attitude of bitterness toward and about your life. Many of you wear this state of being as a hard shell, an armor of sorts that you believe will keep you safe from being hurt again. Now, on the surface, this makes perfect sense. On the surface, you feel like if I can just put on something really strong, then I won't run the opportunity of coming up against this again. My life will be better. My life will be magical. My life will unfold in the way I had always hoped that it would. Unfortunately, it's the attitude of expecting to be hurt or preparing for the worst that ensures that you will indeed experience the lows in life. Your attitude of disappointment, your feeling of bitterness, doesn't have the ability to protect you from more hurt. It only has the ability to function the way every thought or feeling functions under universal law, which is to attract that which is like itself. So when we hang on to the bitterness, the anger, and the resentment, we are in no way making things better. We are simply putting up a big sign, holding a sign that says, please give me more to become angry, frustrated, resentful, and bitter about. No thought or feeling has the ability to create that which is unlike itself, but every thought and feeling is magnetic. What you think about, what you become attached to emotionally, and what you spend your time talking about becomes your personal energetic signature. This signature only has the capacity to bring that which is similar in nature to itself. Your energetic signature acts like a giant magnet that pulls to it more that is the same. So if your focus is on what's wrong, you are going to attract more that is wrong. Can't be any other way. You cannot wish it away. You cannot say, I don't believe that. You could try, but you're not going to get away with pretending that you're not thinking the thoughts that you're thinking. Change your thoughts. You will change your point of attraction. What I really want you to do is get in and do the heart work and clear out the event that caused the bitterness, because then it will be so easy. But if all you can do is change the way you're thinking about the event, you have done brilliantly. So if you're constantly reviewing your losses, the things that have gone wrong or the hurt that you've endured, your energetic signature, that signal which you're broadcasting into the universe, will be filled with that pain, difficulty, and sorrow. In return, you'll receive more to feel badly about as you add more reasons to be bitter, more things that don't and cannot work out because you're not allowing them to do so. Please hear me. My guides did not say because we're not allowing things to work out for you, or God hates you, so God isn't allowing things to work out for you. They very directly said, because you, I, me, myself, are not allowing them to work out. We are the generators. We must generate good. If you want your life to unfold in pleasant ways, you must change your point of attraction. No one and nothing is out to get you. You haven't been singled out for punishment. You're punishing yourself. There it is again. You. Please hear that. You are punishing yourself. If I could go back to do my life over again, I would have wiped out 20 years of punishment just knowing this. That's what I want for you. Fast forward to the good stuff. Just as you are the one causing your punishment, you can be the one to stop your punishment. The minute you stop complaining about everything that's going wrong in the past is the instant when you start changing your vibrational signal. You begin reversing your point of attraction from all that is or has gone wrong, thereby attracting more that is wrong, to focusing on all that you already have, all that's going right or has already gone right, which attracts even more that's right, even more to become joyful and excited about. So that now your life feels good instead of bad, and you begin feeling happy instead of sad. It's always your choice. It's never what's being done to you, but what you're doing to yourself that's causing you the problem. Yes, you may have had reason to feel bitter because things didn't go as planned, but the bitterness you're feeling will become a self-imposed straitjacket that will keep you in lockstep with everything you don't want. And so I have to say, I said, oh gosh, I had 20 years. If I go back to my childhood, I would have to say it was never ending. And so let's say 40 years that I could have been experiencing joy when for the most part I was experiencing misery. Life is going to present complications, challenges, and unpleasant events. They're part of the journey. It's part of what you agreed to before you assumed physical form so you could grow. Those growth challenges are not under your control. They were chosen by you for your highest growth, not for their ease or because they'd be painless. So yes, things are going to come at you, and they will feel like they may have come out of the blue or they are unfair. Before we come into a physical being, we get an opportunity to map out our lives and to include things that will be considered challenging. You chose them for your highest good. And you cannot control when they show up or how they show up. It's already been chosen by you in advance. However, you're in complete control over how you react to the unexpected. If you place yourself into the mind of one who is always expecting joy, because things always work out for you, then you'll sail through the challenge and receive maximum benefit. If, however, you'd rather complain than change, you'll give yourself more to complain about, more to agonize over, and a long road to hell. We've all heard the expression, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. As an empath, your first reaction will be to try to help. Please don't help with physical intervention. Please help with a blanket of pink and gold light, an energetic blanket that merely says, I love you, and here is some unconditional loving energy to help you through. But I'm not going to put my own self in danger, and it's not always necessary for me to jump in and come in with a physical presence. You're never going to escape the growth opportunities life has to offer, but you can decide how you view them. You can refuse to be bitter and instead look at all that you have. You can count your blessings and express sincere gratitude for every moment of joy. If you're grateful for the good, if you fill your mind with everything that's going right, and if you refuse to entertain thoughts of victimhood, no one will be able to defeat you. This is so powerful. Let's take a quick moment to talk about victims. There are two ways that you can become a victim. The first is that you have no understanding that you are powerful and you place yourself in dangerous situations or with dangerous people that will indeed make you into their victim. The other way is to say, I don't want to be responsible, so I'm going to give control of my life over to other people. Please, everyone is powerful. Educate yourself and others that they are powerful and that they do not need to be a victim to anyone. We must teach, especially our children, that they can rise up and say, no, this is not the way it's going. I refuse to participate in this behavior that is hurtful or harmful to me. Instead, I know my power. I'm going to refocus, and I am going to choose how this circumstance affects me. If you have chosen to come into an abusive household for whatever growth reason, this will be challenging. You chose that on purpose. But you can make the best out of that situation, which is bad. I'm not going to pretend, it's going to be wonderful. It will still be a difficult, challenging situation, but your attitude can make it better and can help you feel less powerless. Because your energetic signal will be tuned to the give me more good station, so that all that will enter your vibrational field will be good. You will be filled with joy as you evolve into greater joy. However, you must always be mindful of how you're talking to yourself and about your situation. Be sure that you state only the positive and keep your focus on what's going right. Even in the midst of apparent crisis, you must keep your attention and your emotional attachment on all that's right. Throw away your armor of bitterness, take a deep breath, and loudly declare, and this is so important, even if the world is falling down at your feet, I want you standing up strong and saying to yourself and anyone that will listen, everything is always working out for me. Everything works out for me. Everything is for my highest good. This will have a wonderful conclusion. Then keep reminding yourself that this is indeed your truth, no matter what's going on around you. Remember, some circumstances you chose pre-birth for the experience of them, and some you called to yourself because of a negative attitude. But no matter why something has shown up in your life, you can assure your success by claiming, believing, get your belief behind it, and repeating this simple statement. Everything is always working out for me. Now, I need to add that sometimes patience is required. If it doesn't appear that it's going to work out, do not abandon your belief. Get even stronger into that category, into that column, and get louder and more powerful with the statement, everything is always working out for me. Refuse to look at what is going wrong. Everything is always working out for me. I don't care what is happening. You can rise above it if you place yourself in that high vibration and hop into that trusting space that Source is with you and that everything will work out. Another way to say that, everything is always working out for my highest good. And understand that challenges are often for our highest good. They represent phenomenal opportunities to grow. Get used to wrapping your arm around the challenge and saying, thank you for coming into my life and showing me what I needed to learn. Everything is always working out for my highest good. This situation will too. God, Source, Creator, angels, whomever you feel comfortable talking to, please show me if there is an action that I need to take in this situation. Help me to keep my attitude positive and in the highest vibration. You don't have to go it alone. Rather than be bitter because nothing ever works out, get used to being delighted and joyful that everything always works out. From this place of joy, you'll find solutions to even the most complex challenges, and you'll experience deep soul growth that will make it easier and easier to stay in the place of positivity. Joy is the key that unlocks the kingdom. You will never find an answer when you are feeling defeated, scared, lost, confused, overwhelmed. When we get those emotions running on full speed, what we do is squeeze our connection to Source into such an infinitesimal amount that it's difficult to hear, to receive the message, or to place ourselves in the receiving position. So, get joyful. Even if you have to fake it at first, Get your mind filled with something joyful. Watch a great movie. Go out and walk in the flowers, smell the flowers. Go to the playground where children are playing. Get your mind off you. There is no need to fear the challenge, armored with a shield of bitterness. But there is every reason to embrace it, clad in the cloak of joy. So fear and bitterness are walking hand in hand. Put down the shield of bitterness. Take off that armor. Instead, put on that beautiful cloak that can be any color you want it to be, whatever feels good to you, and it can be as heavy or as light as you want it to be, as long as it feels good and brings you joy. Get used to feeling good, and when you find that you are feeling bad, do whatever you need to do in order to feel good as quickly as possible again. Joy holds the answer. Bitterness keeps you stuck, or sometimes sends you rocketing backward. You came here to grow. Relish the opportunity. Allow yourself to understand that your capability is limited only by your belief. Believe that you're more than capable, that everything works out for you, and that there's always something to celebrate. And you'll discover that every day can be spent in resounding joy. That's what I want for all of you. Joyful lives. And that doesn't even mean that you have to be ridiculously happy all the time. Joy is a state of being rather than an emotion. So it's not ha 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 all the time. It is just an overall feeling of well-being. Feeling good more than you're feeling bad. Feeling that you are safe and loved more than you are feeling alone or betrayed. That's joy. I do want you to have happy moments, laughing moments, moments where you're sharing a big belly laugh with someone. Those are wonderful. But joy is a state of being, and it is the most important state for you to pursue. So let's remember that we have to have a clear understanding of what can be expected from life. If you believe that a life filled with sunshine and roses is the only way you're going to be happy or joy-filled, then you're basically saying to yourself, I want to be unhappy. They already told us we were going to face challenges, that it was going to be part of the journey. And that's okay, so don't fight it. Celebrate everything, even the thorns. Because here's what happens. When you find the thorn, and instead of saying the Eeyore response, oh no, say, oh my gosh, I see this is a thorn. Now that I've recognized it, I can do something about it. Hooray for me. Get used to celebrating every little thing that you're doing right. Dig down to find the good. Express gratitude for the good, even gratitude for the thorn, knowing that it's going to bring you somewhere magnificent once you get through it. So even though it may be hurting now or causing you extreme frustration, get used to getting excited and celebrating every part of your life. And please stop looking at other people's lives and comparing your life to them. Allow your life to be perfect for you just as it is. I'm sure that Mary's life looks wonderful on the surface, but if you were to change places with Mary, you would find out that there are a lot of areas of Mary's life that she's just done a good job of coping with or overcoming, and they haven't been all that pleasant. Nobody gets away without a challenge. we always want to remember that you allow yourself to create space for improvement. So, when you compare or express jealousy or dissatisfaction, you're closing the door on that opportunity. It doesn't matter what Mary is doing. It matters how you're doing in your own lane, in your own backyard. How are you doing with what you have chosen to work through in your own life? That's where your victory lies. Now, remember, we have to throw away the armor of bitterness, being angry, resentful, feeling downtrodden. It's not going to serve you. When you hang on to negative emotions, you got that sign out. I like this and I want more of this bad. Get used to saying, I love my life. I want more to love because everything is always working out for me. Get in that habit, even in the midst of the chaos and the overwhelm. I love my life. I am so excited to see what beautiful place I'm going to go next. Because the way we feel about something determines what we're going to receive in return. So when you feel good, even when things are not going well, you move through the situation quickly and you get to maximum joy. It's only when we hang on to the resentment, the anger, and the bitterness that it feels like it's a never-ending punishment. You have to take responsibility for your part in causing that punishment, or you will never be able to get out of it. You'll just keep creating it. If you spent years being bitter, it's never too late to turn that around. So begin today being grateful, first of all, that you know how to make positive changes in your life. Start just right there. Oh, hallelujah. I don't have to do this anymore. And then forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the years spent in wrong thinking. Those years weren't wasted. They were merely instructions on what not to do. I've told you now that for 40 years, I've had a great deal of unhappiness in my life. But all of those experiences allowed me to be able to share what I know today. So I am so grateful for them, because when someone comes to me and explains a circumstance and I have had experience with it, I can absolutely assure them that yes, we can get this turned around. I did it and you can do it. So all of these experiences that were painful when I was going through them have been so beneficial now to my life purpose. So we want to express gratitude for every experience. But most importantly, forgive any lapses into the negative and get back on track as quickly as possible. Unless you have attained the guru level, you may go through periods, or you will go through periods, when you lapse back into some old behavior, or you try to create some new behavior that's not worthy of you. Just forgive yourself and move on. Be grateful that you noticed this happening. Become your own fan club. Get used to expressing congratulations instead of condemnation. I don't want to hear anyone tell me, this is the way I talk to myself. Oh my gosh, I can't believe what you just did. You are so stupid. What were you thinking? That's a way of talking with yourself. Here's another way of talking to yourself. I'm so proud of you. Look at all that you've accomplished. You're amazing. Wow. You're really doing so well. Look how far you've come. This is great. Keep going. It's getting better. One way, the first way, you're never going to progress. The second way, you'll still stumble, you'll still make mistakes. It will still be periods of learning, but you'll get through them more quickly. You've got to love all of yourself, not just the parts you are judging to be worthy. Remember, the Creator does not just love a piece of us. They love all of us. Allow every part of yourself to be seen by you as worthy and valuable, even the parts that you're in the process of correcting. Because they are perfect just the way they are for now, and you are making the choice to make them even better. We want to get out of the I'm not perfect trap, or I'm a work in progress trap. Don't expect, because that says don't expect too much. I'm a work in progress, so I might make a mistake. How about, hey, right where I am, as I am, I'm perfect and I am continuously evolving into a higher state of completion. Allow yourself to be perfect now, perfect tomorrow, perfect the next day, continuously perfect, and just working on becoming more complete, more as God is. When you insist that you need to improve, it opens the door for self-criticism, and it's hard to not have a defeated attitude when you are feeling critical about yourself. It just kind of they come together. So if you're constantly condemning yourself, you'll never give yourself an opportunity to rise and to grow into even more greatness. So just let go of it. Exchange your criticism for congratulations. There is one individual that came to mind when I was thinking about who has the opportunity, if we look at history, recent history, who's had the most opportunity to be bitter and has overcome it in a way that we can all emulate. And of course, Nelson Mandela came to mind. Let's take a look at what happened to him and how his attitude allowed him to move through it with greatness. He was imprisoned for political beliefs. He didn't do anything wrong. It was considered wrong thinking. He was vocal about his political beliefs, unsupportive of the government that was in power at the time, and their response was, okay, we're going to lock you up. So he was put in jail, and I believe that he was in jail for 20 years. 20 years is a long time to be incarcerated for not doing anything except holding an opinion that was different from the people that were in power at that time. Lot of opportunity to become bitter. Instead, he took a look at the guards that were supposed to be guarding him, and he said, I am freer than they are. I am grateful. I am free inside. No one can cage me. No one can cage my spirit or my thoughts. They can enclose this physical body, but I'm free to think. I am free to let my spirit grow larger. And with that attitude, he overcame that imprisonment, was even able to feel empathy for the guards who he viewed as more imprisoned than he was. Sure, they could go home every night, but their thoughts, their lives, their beingness was locked up. He had such an attitude of love and positivity that it led first to his freedom and then to his election as president. And from there, he did magnificent reforms in that country, helped to transform that country. There is no limit to what we can do when we are feeling good about ourselves and recognizing our power, and we maintain the state of joy. We just need to remember from his own example, it didn't happen overnight. He didn't start feeling good about himself, and the next day they came and unlocked the jail cell and say, okay, you're free to go. 20 years! That's a long time. He didn't give up. He didn't get angry and he didn't get bitter. He didn't shuffle into a corner and say, poor me. He kept refining his attitude, becoming more and more perfect, getting more and more in touch with who he was as a powerful creator, growing closer and closer to God. And it was that magnificence that allowed people to begin to see him for who he truly was. That opened the door and then allowed him to become president and make incredible reforms in his country. He had every opportunity to become depressed and defeated, and I am sure during that time that there were times when he felt depressed. But he didn't let himself stay there, and he didn't beat himself up for feeling depressed. He merely got back on the joy train and said, let me see what I can do with what I have right here, right where I am. And it led him to victory. No one but you can make yourself a prisoner or a victim. If anyone shows us that, clearly it is Nelson Mandela. Absolutely no one made him a prisoner. His body was in a jail cell, true, but he did not consider himself a prisoner or a victim. Really important. He kept hold of the reins and did not let go of what he knew would bring him where he wanted to go. Stay in the high place. Stay in those high vibrations of love, peace, and joy. That automatically puts you on higher ground. That already puts you above the others who are trying to hold you down, and then they will have no more power over you. Let's get it away from the attachment that if something is wrong with our physical body, something is wrong with us. We are not the physical body, it's merely the container. You are the spirit. And you are with God, and God is with you. There's nothing better than you or more powerful. I want everyone to work on this in this coming week, really changing your thinking, really getting in touch with the spirit so you can recognize that you're already free, you're already powerful, and that you will not stop no matter what thing may come against you in the physical, because just like Nelson Mandela, you're going to rise to the top and stay there, the top of the vibrational space. And then your life is going to be victorious in every way possible. It will happen first in spirit, in the energetic realm. But if you stay there consistently, your life, your physical life, will begin reflecting what you have already created in the energetic. But it will take time. It is speeding up now that we have this wonderful new energy pouring in, but plan on it taking some time and don't get discouraged. Okay, who has an inspiration story for me today or as something that they want to share so that we can lift you up? Remember the reason that we gather in our Facebook group, Heal Our Hearts, and on these calls is so that we can support each other. If I were to be having a really down day, I would want the support of all of you to help me remember why I'm doing this, what I'm doing right, and how I can get out of my own way. So if you're having a bad moment or you just want to share something inspirational, because when we share, it becomes magnified, and that would bring all of us more inspiration, then please star 2, raise your hand. We want to hear from you, and we want to support you. You're never alone. You're never lost. There is always somebody that is willing to be there for you. That doesn't mean, though, however, doesn't mean you say to the other person, okay, I'm off the clock and you're on. My problem has now become yours and you have to figure it out for me. No, we got to be responsible all the way through from start to finish with whatever it is that we've called into our lives. But we certainly can call for support. Call for someone to help us stay in that high vibration. But we don't want to abdicate our responsibility because then we're giving our power away. And that's kind of stepping back into victim territory. I can't do it. I have to go call on Sue. Sue's more powerful than I am, or stronger, or more evolved, or some nonsense. And so Sue has to do it for me. Let's remember, no one is better than anyone else. Everyone came here with the same amount of spirit in their bodies. We all have the same amount of spiritual body. Some of us have done the work for longer, so we may have more information. It is then our job to share that information with others who are just starting. Doesn't make anybody better or worse. It just means that someone may have been on the path longer and is now obligated to share. And David, I see your hand. Let me unmute you. Hi there.
Hi. Well, these last few weeks, we probably all feel a lot of things going on, all things coming to surface to get out, and including a lot of bitterness. I feel that also. And what I found out is that the bitterness holds us back and stuck in the past. We need to let it go.
Amen to that. And I'm so glad you mentioned that because I meant to say, woohoo, we are in an intense energy outpouring. And if you don't feel anything, you're already dead. You've transitioned somehow into pure energetic because the rest of us are often being caught by surprise by some of these emotions. So, yes, thank you, David. Don't get down on yourself if suddenly you're saying, doing, thinking, or feeling something that you said to yourself, okay, I got a handle on that one. I'm not going in that territory anymore. This energy is saying, look at me and clear me. Look at me and clear me. Look at me and clear me. No more, I'll put that away for a later day. It's all coming up. And because it is, please be patient with anyone in your circle, whether it is direct family, coworker, friend, anybody that you engage with. Please be patient. You all know what's going on. You are aware of the energy. You can feel it in your bodies. You've been doing the work to clear and heal. They may not be there yet, and they may explode all over you with whatever's coming up. Don't take it personally. It has nothing to do with you. Be non-reactive. Just let them go. Get out your blankets of pink and gold light, wrap them up in them, take a bathroom break. If you can't seem to get away from them, or if you feel that they're starting to invade your energetic space and you're having trouble holding your own, just please don't engage. Take a step back, let them go, wrap them up, shield yourself. We're all experiencing this and expressing it in different ways, but no one is immune to this. And David, you again so beautifully reminded us, our animals, our pets are also feeling this. So we must be on the alert if they can't express something. Extra water, better food. Just keep an eye on everyone in your circle. That doesn't mean get involved. That could be hands off. If you're an empath, that your first reaction is, let me rush in and fix it. No, let me just observe what's going on and see how I can support you. They need to move through it themselves. We need to move through it for ourselves. Nobody gets to take the weight anymore. Especially those of us who have been used to carrying it all of our lives and pretending that we were not breaking under the weight. Be on high alert that you don't get back in that pattern, because with this new energy, it's really going to sock you. It's going to sock you right in the nose to make you stop doing it. So if you feel like you're breaking in two, hallelujah, I understand why this is happening. Let me correct this. Congratulations to me for recognizing it. Please, no condemnation. This is not a time to condemn. This is unconditional love that's pouring forth, and that means welcoming to all, accepting to all, loving to all. I'm sorry, David, that was a little bit of a rant. I know you have more to share, but I got going there.
Well, what we all know is that when we give something attention, we give it power. So if we stay in bitterness and we think about it and we fight it instead of letting it go, we give it power. So we attract more of the same. It's better, to understand that we're giving away our power that way. So if it comes to surface, just let it go. Don't fight it, because it needs to get out of your system.
Oh, hooray. Yes. Get out of resistance. If you take nothing away from today's call, get out of resistance. It's not going away. You're not going to be able to fight this energy and win. It is much more powerful than you will ever be unless you somehow become completely united with God, and then you wouldn't be resisting anyway. So please, no more resistance. Just let it flow through you, and put your mind, just as David said, put your mind on what's going right, or seek support. If you can't get out of your own way, get in our Facebook group, Heal Our Hearts, and say, I am getting my butt kicked by this energy, and I really need somebody to hold me up in prayer. We will be happy to do that. And if you need a call, put that in the thing. Is there anybody that's free that would be able to talk to me for a few minutes? I really need help. Don't take it personally if someone says, I'm sorry, I have a full schedule. Respect other people, but reach out and feel the love. So, David, how's your circumstance?
What circumstance?
Well, you had kind of gotten bonked over the head with a challenge.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that beginning to unravel?
It's already gone.
Mm.
It's like what we just talked about. If you give your energy to the past, you stay in the past. And so if you want to move forward, leave the past, let the past be.
Oh, brilliant. Now, for those who don't know, this was a legal situation from, I think you said 60 years ago. And David had the opportunity to get into a place where he could have said, excuse me, I'm right. This is my property, blah, 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 blah. And it could have dragged on for years. But we all heard David say, oh, it's already gone. That's the way to live your life. Way to go, David. I like that. It is always our choice. Please look at how powerful David made himself by letting go of it. He gave it to, said, I'm going to let go of holding on to any outcome. I'm just going to allow my highest good to come forth, and the situation is resolved. That's the way we move forward. Thank you, David.
Marcia,
Thank you. Yes.
Just a little, little bit more. It's. Oh, I get blocked now. That's funny. Well, I wanted to share a little thing more. Is like it's so easy. No, we need to keep in mind that there are still some forces or people on our path that want to dim our light. So we need to be aware that they will try to take you off your path, and you need to be calm and very mindful and heartful to think for yourself and look at what is best for you.
Yeah, let's not, no head in the sand. Everybody's an angel, and no one will ever have a cross thought about me or try to prevent me from moving forward. There are some people that just don't need to be in your energetic field, and it's okay. No more guilt. Just lovingly let them go. Protect yourself. That's powerful too. And Nancy, I see you have your hand raised.
Yes, hi.
Hi, honey.
I just wanted to say that I've been so entrenched in thinking that I'm right, and I've been trying to force an outcome, and it's taken me a long time, many months of just getting it. And I've been studying this for a while, but I just kept thinking, no, I'm right. But that's not, I guess, the lesson. Not what I'm supposed to get from this.
Okay. The ego loves to be right. So remember, in class, I said, well, my new way to approach that is just to say to the ego, you're right. You're always right. Because I know and you know whatever I focus on is what I'm getting. So I'm always right. Whether it's I'm right about I'm going to get a disaster, or I'm right about I'm going to get a blessing. Just by kind of mollifying myself by saying, well, you're always right. Then that little piece of resistance tends to go over into the unused column while we move ourselves even further forward. You may be 100% right in this situation, but is it serving you? And And so that's when you have to say, you know what? All I want is my highest good. I want the highest good for everyone involved in this situation with me, because otherwise, what is that expression? Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't grab it. There's the expression, it's not be careful what you wish for, but it is something turns to ash. You know, you think you want this thing and you do everything you can to get it, and you find out once you've gotten it that it's the price you paid was too high and it feels horrible. That's what we're going to work on this weekend. First of all, we'll be able to communicate more effectively with everyone. I use this all the time. It is such a relief. It just makes life so much easier. And so that will be out of the way. You will have given that to the angels, and you can just say, okay, I screwed that one up, but I gave it to you guys, and so I can just move on. And then we need to find out, well, if I keep thinking the way I'm thinking and I keep going forward the way I'm going, is it going to bring me joy? So that's the other thing that we're going to learn. How can I look forward into the future and make sure that I'm really going in line with my highest good? And sometimes we can be tricky to ourselves. So we want to be able to see as much as possible how we are going to be impacted by our own actions. And then that makes it easier also to be less in resistance. So Nancy, I so hear you. I'm sure you are 100% in the right on this issue. But now we have to ask ourselves, is it worth it? Are you gaining anything by being right?
What I was thinking, though, is that I was I was coming from the place of, okay, I need to keep persevering, keep pressing the issues. And I thought that was my understanding of what I should be doing. But I guess I was wrong.
Hey, hooray. I just realized I could be holding myself in a really unhappy place unintentionally. I am such a freaking genius. I just figured it out. Now I can let go. I'm the most brilliant person on the earth. Look at me. I'm amazing. You think you're the only person that ever held on to the way something has to be? I'm a Taurus. I would never hold on to anything. Let me tell you, you haven't met stubborn until you met me a couple of 20 years ago. I made a lot of difficult things happen in my life. Hooray for me that I am getting more and more flexible every day. I am remembering to run back to God and say, I think I just stepped all over what should have been in your hands, and I'm giving it back. Please undo this mess and let the highest good work out for all. Stay in the hallelujah, I'm amazing, hooray for me energy. If you didn't make the mistake, going forward, you would want to continue to be in resistance. Oh gosh, guys, I just realized our time is over. Nancy, thank you so much. David, thank you so much. You guys are so amazing. Hooray for all of you. Please, please, please. We make mistakes. We're going to make a mistake. That's not going to go away. That's why we came. Just hooray for me. I recognized something that I'm doing that's holding me back. Don't beat yourself up. I don't care if you've been making the same mistake for 50 years. You're a freaking genius, if after 50 years you can recognize the thing that's causing you pain. That takes some real brilliance. It's never too late to start, but please, let it be for your highest good and for the highest good of all. All right, guys, if you want to get on my mailing list, which the end of March, which is almost upon us, the Daily Inspiration will no longer be on social media. It will be there hit or miss. So if you are not already on my mailing list, please put yourself on there. It's Marcia, Marcia, at marciamartinthehearthealer.com. There's a little button right in the center. It says Inspire Me. That will get you the daily inspiration. I thank you all for participating in these calls and making our little circle so robust and loving. I couldn't do it without you, so thank you all. This Saturday is our really cool workshop. Can't wait. And don't forget YouTube. If you like the calls that we're doing, you can hear them again. You can remind yourself of something that you may have forgotten or hear calls that you weren't able to participate in. MarciaMartinTheHeartHealer.com on YouTube. Like and subscribe, and please share with others. Thanks so much, everyone. I love you all. Talk with most of you on this call. There are some that, if you haven't already signed up, the workshop still has openings, so please feel free. MarciaMartinTheHeartHealer.com. 7 tools, 7 of the most essential and powerful tools for spiritual success is the name of the workshop. We're on part 2. If you haven't taken part 1, I would really recommend you do that because we're going to use those tools moving forward. All right, everyone. Happy holidays for everyone who is celebrating a holiday. Sending you my love.